Hey everyone, it's Axel here. Just making this video, I want to share something with you guys. Sort of like a tip. I think I'm going to start doing this a little more often because I can't really focus on the courses too much just because, I'm right now currently working on a video game project and, for another company, and I need to focus on this. I thought it'd be a good idea to actually share what I'm doing in this project and show how I'm doing this or what I'm doing. It won't be full tutorials, it'll just be, some little tips and pieces of code that you can use. Right now, I'm working on the inventory. I just put up some base icons and what I need to do is I want basically when you hover over one of these. Well, okay, so I should say that my goal for this game's UI is to make it really minimalistic. So I don't want a lot of text, and I just don't want it super cluttered. I want it, pretty organized, neat, and just simple. Right here, someone might come in here and they have no idea what the icons mean, and I don't want to put the text under here, saying like this here is the how many weapons you have. This is the ammo, and so on. I don't want people to have to go through a tutorial to know what it is. What I want to set up is just basically this image on the UI here, and when you hover over one of these UI elements, I want this to pop up, and I also wanted to follow the mouse for the duration till you're outside of this box area. I created a script here, and I'm just going to, this is going to be the main inventory holder, so the function I'm putting in here isn't going to stay. That's another thing I like to do. I want to create as many scripts as possible, and each script needs to have one assigned function essentially. Um, so inventory is going to be just the numbers, and there won't be any functionality behind that. It's just a place to store the values based on the floats or the integers. Um, and then I'll have other scripts for the hovering, for the editing, and so on. But for the script, I'm just going to put it in here for now, and then I'll move it later. That's something I also like to do. Okay, so what I could do is I could set it up so every time I hover over an object, a specific or particular object, we could have another preset game object like this box currently for each one. So we would have a bunch. So right now this is raw image, and we'd have just a bunch for each one. And then what we would do is obviously deactivate each one until we're ready to use it. And then every time we hover, the corresponding UI would pop up. But that's fine to do when you're starting out and you're learning, but that's just not I mean, it's creative, it's just not I can't think of the right word, but you want to try and have more dynamic code other than just static code. So static meaning it doesn't move or change, it's going to stay that set way. I want more dynamic code for this game. I want basically this image to hover where the mouse is based on where it's hovering on these objects. So when I go to the heart, I want the same box to come up to the heart, and then to the food, and then loot, and then wood. And then also another thing that's really easy is changing the text based on what we're hovering on. I'm going to show you the hovering right now, and it's going to be really easy. All we have to do is, first of all, we have to create a public game object for that UI object. So we'll say UI hover, and then not in start but an update. All we have to do is say UI hover dot transform dot position is equal to, and then we this is considered an input, so we go through input dot mouse position, and it's as simple as that. So when we play this now, if we go back in, obviously we have to set this up. I think I put the script on the main camera already, so we'll just go to the main camera. Okay, so here it is. So we need to get that hover box and drag and drop it in, and then we can play the game. And you know, just 2 lines of code. It should follow our mouse. So we'll wait for this. Okay, so it does work. Obviously there's latency, but that doesn't matter at all. That's really cool. So when we're on the weapon, it's going to be here, and obviously well, I can't show you with my finger, but obviously the box is going to extend probably up here. So anywhere in this area, we're going to see weapons. So I think that's kind of cool. You know, you can move your mouse here, and then it'll disappear when you come out. Go to this one, and it'll pop up with a new one, and so on. And that's really cool. I think that that's nice looking, and we can get our point across without a bunch of messy text. Also, what I'll probably do is go into weapons, and since there's no number value to represent this slider, what I'll do is go into the text, and we'll have something like 5, like the number value there. So if we play this now and we hover, it'll just look better. So we'll wait for this to go. The game's taking a while to start up now for some reason. Probably some messy code. Anyway, so now when we go over the weapons, we'll also see how many weapons we have. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. It's just really simple. This can be used for a lot of stuff. You could have this for an actual interactive inventory. Obviously, this inventory isn't interactive. You know, this game is more a simulator game, so we don't need dynamic inventory boxes or slots. We just need to represent the items that we have. So, you know, it works perfectly fine for that. Also, if we wanted to, I could just show you how to change the text. So all we have to do is go into the top, and we have to declare that we're using Unity's engine.ui. Okay, so then why don't we create the text? So we'll just say public text, and we'll call this hover text. Okay, so I'll just change it based on an input press, so we can see it changing, and then later on it'd be based on where the position of the mouse is. So all we have to do is say if input.getKey down code dot, and I'll use Z, and then we would just change it to hover text dot text equals, and then I believe we use this. Also, really quickly, let's just set up a float or an int for our object. So we'll just say wood, and then we'll set it to start at like 25. So we go to hover text dot text equals, and then we'll just say wood, and then what we need to do here is place that at, I don't really remember what this is called, just call it a bracket for now, and then we need to add a plus, and then I believe here we would say wood plus, and then end it with that. And then if we close this and save it, that should work. Okay, so let's just go back in here, and then I'm just sort of trying to rush this. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's really easy. It just kind of takes a while to set up. But now we go to our camera again, and then hover text. We need to drag the text in there. Okay, so now if we save this, or play it, when we play it, we should be able to press Z and change that text. Okay, so by default it's still weapons 5, but if we press Z, it's now wood and 25, and that 25 is actually our float's value. So it's really cool. So we know that could work pretty simply. And like I said before, we're this is going to be a different script from the actual inventory script. So all we would do is define where that inventory is coming from. So we'd say public inventory, which is a script already to this one, and we could call it inv. And then all we would have to do is go grab inv, put it here, inv.wood. So we'd just be referencing it, so keeping it separate. But anyways, this was just super simple. I know it was probably quite a long video, but I just wanted to show you guys this quick tip because it's pretty interesting, and it should help out quite a bit. I think this is cool. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and start building this and making it dynamic. So anyways, I hope I helped you guys out with something cool. If you have any questions with this system, let me know. Other than that, thanks for watching.